Hello there, Mr. Sutton bringing you the first of two lessons on matrix multiplication. In this one, we will explore the process for doing this, and that's it. We'll talk about applications in the next lesson. For your warm-up, find the dot product of these two vectors. All right, let's see how that went. So remember, with dot product, we have to multiply the corresponding parts together. So first things get multiplied, second things get multiplied, third numbers get multiplied, and then add all those products together. So we have 4 times -2 plus -3 times 5 plus -8 times -7. So that's -8 minus 15 plus 56. -23 plus 56 gives us 33. Let's take our first look now at matrix multiplication. When we multiply two matrices together, A and B for example, we get another matrix. But what do the dimensions of this other matrix look like? The new order, the order of the new matrix, will have the number of rows of the first matrix and the number of columns of the second matrix. So in this case, if we have a 3 by 2 and a 2 by 2, we get the rows of the first and the columns of the second. So it's going to be a 3 by 2 for the new matrix. So how do we actually fill in this 3 by 2 matrix? Well, we have to dot multiply each row of the first matrix by each column of the second matrix. And when we do this, so row 1 times column 1, we're going to put the result in whatever the row and column is, whatever element that is, in our new matrix. So for example, if we're multiplying together this row and this column, row 1 and column 1, that means 1 times 2 plus 6 times 0 is going to go in row 1, column 1 of the new matrix. Now let's move on to the next column for the second matrix. So now we're doing row 1 times column 2. So -1 times 3 plus 6 times 9, that's going to go in row 1, column 2 of the new matrix. And if we move on to row 2 and column 1, that's going to be row 2, column 1 of the new matrix. Then we have row 2, column 2. So -4 times 3 plus 5 times 9. Then we have row 3, column 1, and row 3, column 2. At this point, we just have to crunch all these numbers. So starting at the top here, this is going to be -2 plus 0, so just -2. Then we'll have -3 plus 54, so that would be 51. -8 plus 0, so just -8. -12 plus 45, so that's 33. 0 plus 0 is 0. And then 0 plus 27 is 27. So one thing you might be wondering here is, what if I had 3 columns in this first matrix, so that when I tried to multiply the first row and this first column together, I had 3 things that I was trying to dot multiply with 2 things. Can that work? I mean, we'd have matches for the -1 and the 6, but how about the third item out here? It wouldn't have anything to pair up with. So for this reason, if the first number of columns and the second matrix's number of rows do not match up, if there's more columns or less columns over here than there are rows over here, so that you're mismatched when you dot multiply, you can't actually do matrix multiplication. And there's more implications on this. So if we tried to do this multiplication backwards, if we tried to do B times A, well, we have 2 columns versus 3 rows, so you wouldn't actually be able to do BA. That would be undefined. So this is a startling revelation. Matrix multiplication is not commutative. The order makes a huge difference on these. We'll do one more example here. So for this one, pause the video and see how far you can get. All right, hopefully you first identified what the new order of the new matrix is going to be. We have 3 rows and 3 columns, so we're going to have a 3 by 3 for this one. All right, well, we've got row 1 times column 1, so 9 times 8 plus -1 times -8 plus 1 times -9. Next, row 1 times column 2, row 1 times column 3. Now we do row 2 times all of these. So row 2, column 1 goes in row 2, column 1 of our new matrix. Row 2, column 2. Row 2, column 3. Row 3, column 1. Row 3, column 2. And row 3, column 3. Pause the video if you need to write down any of these. Just double check to make sure that you have the same stuff. All right, now we're going to crunch all these numbers. So for our first one, we've got, let's see, this will be 72 plus 8 is 80, minus 9 is 71. Here we've got 0 minus 9 plus 2, so negative 7. We've got 36 minus 5, that's 31, plus 3 is 34. Now 24 minus 56, that's going to be negative 32, minus another 63, so that's going to be negative 95. Then we have 0, 63 plus 14 is going to be 77. 12 plus 35 is 47, plus another 21 is 68. Then we have negative 1 minus 72 minus another 72. So that would be negative 8 minus 144, so negative 152. 0, 89, or no, not anyway, 81. 81 plus 16, that's 97. Negative 4 plus 45, that's going to be 41. Plus another 24 is 65. Whole lot of mental math here, or you could use a calculator every step of the way. But there we are. Now, I know some of you are thinking at this point, wow, that's a whole lot of work just for that little result there. I wish there were a faster way to do this. There is, if you have a graphing calculator. As a little bit of a bonus, let me show you how to do this on the grapher. So the first thing you need to do to work with matrices on a calculator is actually enter the matrices into the calculator. For that, you have to go to the matrix menu, which we access by doing second, and then this button down here, the negative 1, x to the negative 1 button. For some reason, they made that the matrix button that you have to shift. So we have the names of all these different matrices here. We have to edit the first matrix, so we're going to go over to Edit, and then we'll click Enter on A. We have to list the dimensions of A, which will be 3 by 3, and then we have to go through and enter each element. So we have a 9, we have a negative 1, and I'll do the rest of these off camera. So there we are. We've filled out that first matrix. Now we're going to quit out and do another matrix. So second matrix again. We have to go to the Edit menu. This time we have to go down to matrix B and do the same thing and fill in these entries. All right, that's done. So that took a little bit of time, but it'll be worth it. So we're now going to quit out and actually use these matrices. We again go to our matrix menu, and now on this Names menu here, we can actually just click Enter on the matrix we want to use. So we'll do A, and we wanted to do A times B, so we'll go back to the matrix menu, and we will scroll down to B. And if you just write these next to each other, it will multiply it. If you want to put a multiplication symbol in there, you can do that too. But let's see what we get. Oh, look at that. So let me move this over here. So we have 71, negative 7, 34. And the rest of these numbers, it looks like, match up. Hey, how about that? That was way faster. So that's the process for multiplying matrices. In our next lesson, we'll take a look at some applications of this. Till then, this is Mr. Sutton signing off.